If you are getting any value out of the tips above, you must lack a fundamental understanding of very basic topics. For example, here's another tip. Don't settle for your current salary. Try to get a raise if possible. Whoa, mind-blowing.
Hey, page turners. You're listening to Pages Across the Prairies with Adriana
And Christine,
your virtual book club where two besties dive into stories and spill all our thoughts.
think of it like your coziest book club, but without the dress code. So grab your book, pour your favorite drink, and let's talk chapters. Welcome back to Pages Across the Prairies, your favorite book club. Today we are doing something a little bit different. It's called To Read or Not to Read, and it's a mini-series in which we will give you about 5 to 6 rapid-fire recommendations on books. I'll give you a little background info, and you can decide before I tell you the title whether or not you would choose to read this book. It's designed for people who would like to read, they don't know what to read, or maybe don't know how, or want to do the research.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear what you found.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Today is one of Adriana's less enjoyed genres. Since we're doing a book challenge that's all about genres, we decided to start with the genre gauntlet. If you like self-help, this is obviously a great episode for you, and if you don't, maybe we can convince you.
Yeah, gonna try and convince me.
Yeah, and if you want something a little bit more in-depth, we do have a regular book club that we host where we do a deep dive. I like to say that a lot. Where we do a deep dive on the books that we're reading. Because obviously we're not going to read all these.
I think we're going to be going over what self-help book we chose a little differently, so you'll be able to follow along with us.
Yeah, this will be a great introduction to that each time. Because we're doing the research to find what book we want.
Exactly. All right. What do you got?
I have 6 today.
Okay.
And a lot of these, I've read part of them. I have never actually finished a self-help book.
Okay, me neither. Great. We're on a great track.
Listen to our recommendations. No, I've read a lot of them. For me, self-help is like an inspiration. I'll read a little bit, put it into practice, and since I use the library a lot, I usually have to return the book before I finish it. A lot of people will reread, and that's what I do too. I'll go back and be re-inspired, but I just take little rules or pieces of advice and put them in my life, but I don't finish the book.
And I think that's what we're going to do with this one with reading, is reading chapter by chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're hoping to. Because I can read a book pretty quick, but you can't change your whole life in a day.
No.
Self-help books for me are a slow read. But if they are not, if you read one fast and you implement it fast or don't, or you remember it, I'd love to hear that, or what your process is.
Yeah, what are your tricks on remembering the changes you want to make?
Right. I know this one, I believe this one, I don't want to spoil it, but some of them come with journals or little processes to follow along with.
Oh, I love that. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Keep you inspired. Okay, so the first one, this 2014 New York Times bestseller, discusses how trauma reshapes our body and brain, and it discusses how to understand and to heal from it. On Goodreads, it has a 4.35 rating, and the author is a psychiatrist who studies and teaches the effects of trauma. I've talked to you about this one. Hopefully you don't know right off the bat what it is.
I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
I'm really bad at remembering names.
Good.
But it does sound, short memory, because it's based around trauma. My brain's like, yeah, you should read that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I also judge books by a cover. So if it doesn't have a great cover, it lost me.
That's why you don't get to see the cover yet. Okay. These are some of our Reddit reviews. I'll pop them up on the screen for you. This one has 261 upvotes. It says, I'm 140 pages in, and this book is blowing me away. It's definitely uncomfortable to read. It's made me acknowledge some things I have been avoiding for a very long time. So that's a good review. Somebody else said, I actually struggled with it.
Okay.
I bought it expecting it to be a revelation. It keeps being recommended to me, but I found it overly clinical and with emphasis on combat, like PTSD.
Okay.
Yeah. It was so great learning more about the science of it and made me realize that when I blank out and forget stuff, when I feel upset or feel like flying off the handle for no reason, or when I go to recreate the trauma or use substances, it's for a reason. It's because of the trauma.
Yeah. I like these honest reviews.
Right? I tried to find some funny ones, but with self-help, people tend not to be as funny.
No, it's not a funny subject.
Don't even get me started on the scientific inaccuracies and absolute lack of references. All of his claims are based on personal experience supported by anecdotes. Absolute garbage. Hope it gets canceled before it does more damage to the PTSD community.
Oh dear.
Yeah. This person says it's the equivalent of vaccines cause autism. That was all those 3 negative was from the same person.
Okay. I don't even know how to acknowledge.
I bought this. Well, I mean, you can't say, just with the author's background, you can't say it's based off nothing. But anyway, so I bought this book, and after it was recommended to me by a mental health YouTuber, and am disturbed by the cult following this book has gained despite spreading very damaging and false information.
Okay, bestseller with a cult. I'm so interested.
I think that a lot of self-help books kind of have cult followings. When I go to look up these books, they'll have Facebook groups or groups designed for following and implementing, right? Like I said, sometimes they have journals.
Accountability group.
This person read it in tandem with their therapist. They found it very helpful, helped them see their childhood in a new light. And then this person says that they feel that it's aimed for a clinical audience, which could go back to our previous comment about where it was like overly clinical. It's apparently based for a clinical audience.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I am curious. Would you read this book?
Without looking at the cover, I am inspired to give it a try. I wouldn't say finish it, but give it a try because of how it might help with trauma.
Right.
And there are some reviews that are quite convincing, and then other ones I'm just like, but I want to challenge this review.
You probably already tell I have not read this book. I have had it recommended a lot. But you could probably already tell I was trying to challenge it. Just for me, just because of the author's degree or their knowledge in the field, it gives a little credence to. And that's why I don't know if I'll always mention the author's credentials, but I feel like in the category of self-help, it's kind of important to know who this knowledge is coming from.
And sometimes based off personal experience isn't a bad thing.
Well, and I think with this author, I think it also is. I only did a cursory search with these episodes. I'm not as much researching. I'm more giving you guys people's reviews as opposed to like a deep dive into the author that I would do on our normal podcast. So I just sent you it. This book, the book that we were talking about, is The Body Keeps Score, and it is written, I'm going to butcher this name. It's written by Bessel van der Kolk.
All right. I'm glad that I said I would give it a try, because with this title, that is something that is so absolutely correct. The body does keep score of everything.
Yeah,
so
the title
I do want to
itself.
read it.
Oh, good. Yeah. The title itself is kind of what inspired me. Like I said, I'm a little afraid of this book, but it's a very inspiring title. To me, the cover is like you can tell what the book's about. Yeah.
Yeah, the cover is intriguing enough that, you kind of want to know more.
If you have read this book, if you would read this book, let us know. I am curious.
Yes, what would you review it as? And how many stars?
Yeah, exactly. You'll find that the Goodreads ratings kind of sit around the same spot. Or not. That's why I don't like the 5-star rating. Okay.
Next. What you got?
Our next one. I think this one might be a hard sell. Okay.
Probably.
Published in 2016, this collection of essays takes a unique look at human experiences, encouraging the reader to pause, reflect, and reinterpret. It has a Goodreads rating of 3.73 stars, and the author has a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and an honorary doctorate in literature. So obviously a good writer. Well, I think that's what that implies anyway.
I think so.
This will change the way you think. No, actually. Recently, I was given this book. If you're looking for a tangible, thought-provoking advice, aha moments, and philosophical basics, I would highly recommend taking a look at this book. It was a real slap in the face for me, making me realize some of the socially unintelligent conversation habits I have, and how I often whine about how life sucks. All right. Okay. This person says the author is, I can't understand what she's talking about. She talks a lot and says nothing at all. Self-help books should be easy to understand, not mind twisters. She's 31 years old. I don't want to come at the author now.
No,
this person's just wondering with their credentials why, like how they have the authority to talk about this subject.
You can learn a lot in a quick time when it comes to having.
Yeah, well, I think so. And I think this is one of the ones that I picked up and read a little bit of it. And I would say that it is very philosophical. It is a mind bender. Okay, I didn't understand her writing until I got on that level. Okay, sorry. This one I saved just because it's funny.
Okay.
I didn't understand her writing until I got on that level. Lots of psychedelics. She knows what's up. You're just not on the level to understand her words yet. Return when you level up, NPC. Just laughed when I don't know if they mean it seriously or not, but I read it with a grain of humor. Level up.
That's the best ending.
Okay, so this person listened to the book. As soon as they turned on this book, I felt this deep, deep feeling of calmness and understanding that everything would be okay. And everything happens for a reason. It sounds weird, but I could literally feel it in my bones.
Aw, I can feel that comment in my bones.
Yeah, I think it's a good comment. And I think with self-help books, sometimes different ones work for different people at different times.
Oh, for sure, 100%. You have to be in the mindset if you want to listen to it.
Like the last person said, get on that level. Not on it, it's not your book. Yeah, just this person said it was a breakthrough. It'll change the way you think. So I am curious, just based off of that information alone, if this is one that you would be interested in reading.
Based off the first review and how, like, oh, what's the right word? Just like phrasing it was, I don't want to read it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I can't quite remember how she worded it, but there was something that she worded in the review, or they word in the review. I was like, no.
It'll change the way you think. No, actually.
Yeah, I think that was it. The no, actually. I'm just like, okay, if you need to actually say no, actually, no, thank you.
This doesn't feel genuine enough.
Like, now you're pushing me too much, and no, thank you.
I'm curious. I tried to save the upvotes on most of these. I don't have that. I'm curious if these authors or their social media reps ever, maybe. I'm not saying this one is that. I don't think it was. But that would, I mean, if I wrote a book that was on self-help, you could anonymously praise on Reddit. Might help with sales.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think for sure.
I'm going to send you the cover now, and it's not, this cover is not super decorative, I guess.
I can't help it. But, like, just looking at it, it looks like a textbook, and that's the last thing I want to read.
Right, and it is a collection of essays, so it is 101 essays that will change the way you think, written by Brianna West? Spelled like Weist.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's just a text title. I have read this book. Not all of it. It is a collection of essays that you have to think really, really deep about.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. It's been a minute since I read it. Like I did find the advice interesting, but it's kind of how you perceive it.
Okay. You have to be on the level.
Correct. And I think I only read one or two, so maybe I was not on that level. I don't know. But so that is our second one. We'll move on.
Okay.
If you have read this book, though, if you found it inspiring or not inspiring, I would love to hear your opinion.
Yes, please. Am I missing out by saying no? I won't read this.
Yeah. Or should I pick it back up again? All right. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. Published in 1999, this New York Times bestseller serves as a manual on how to attain force and challenge power. It provides historical examples and explanations on why these tactics work. Some of the advice can be seen as frightening, and it has been banned from some federal prisons. The Goodreads rating is 4.09 stars, and the author has a Bachelor of Arts degree in classical studies.
Okay. I'm so intrigued.
This one is the most, of this list, this is the most intriguing one to me. Okay.
Yeah.
This person said they found it unethical and disturbing. The book teaches how to manipulate people, to be two-faced, to leave feelings like love behind. One of the worst parts was feeding people's fantasies, teaching how to manipulate people through pretending to be fulfilling their desires. Disgusting. It is a book that is meant to be read as a tool to understand the mind of highly manipulative people. The book was not written so people would follow and implement the various flaws or pieces of advice. I'm a few chapters in and I can say this. These tactics have been used on me in business, personal life, so many times. It's led me to wholly conclude that all humans are inherently selfish. Whether you like it or not, we are all part of the game of control, and we've all at least once used at least one of these rules to get an advantage somehow. It is one of my favorite books of all time. Coincidentally, I believe that if you are taking it with anything near seriousness, let alone with the fervor in which you described it, is utterly insane. So it is back to the original commenter, because that commenter was a little bit, she had mentioned just further down in her comment that it was recommended to her by her ex-boyfriend, and she was really stressed about that because she's like, I can see how he's implementing these.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So this person goes on to say the author's being extremely cynical and sarcastic when narrating it.
Okay.
The writer himself said, if someone reads and follows all of this advice, that person would be the most ugly and disgusting one to ever walk on the planet. It's helpful in the sense that you know how these psychopaths think and can counter it. This person says this book was indispensable in understanding how corporate management worked and thought, and why its decisions were made that seemed illogical. It's a field guide to a-holes by behavior. If you're using it to guide your own behavior, you are using it wrong. And then somebody else said, love all the pearl clutching comments here. The book isn't some powerful demonic entity. It's basic human psychology, and it is extremely informative. If you're going to be an a-hole, you're going to be an a-hole. Like anything, it cuts both ways. Okay, so I am curious. Would you read this book?
Well, even just from the summary, I wanted to at least tiptoe into it because it sounds like a self-help book that would be in its different drop-down category
That's
of
what I
self-help
mean.
books. And it sounds like one that maybe I can understand people better and don't need to exactly focus on it. Well, maybe, but you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant by saying like there's different categories, because this is a self-help book that the author himself is saying don't use it to help yourself, but use it to help yourself in a different way. Use it to help protect
Exactly.
yourself.
That's what I'm saying is I would want to read this so I can help myself in that different way. And so I
Right.
can understand working people better.
And there are people who are trying to actively implement these into their life. And I didn't, have I read this book? I know that I put a hold on it at the library. I think it did show up. It took years to show up. I'd forgotten that I placed the hold. Yeah, it's high demand. And I
What
think
is
that
it?
I maybe read one or two. I'd forgotten about the book by that time. And I was like, I could definitely see how these could gain you power.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And when it said like it was like written in the 90s and not implemented in certain things anymore, I'm like, I gotta know more.
Yeah. So the book, I'm just going to send it to you now. And something I did want to mention, like in how we said some people do listen to this advice, in researching this book, I found a Facebook group dedicated to, I didn't spend a lot of time researching it, so I'm sorry if I'm ill-informed, but I mean, one of the questions on the group was like, why are you trying to learn these laws? And somebody said a yacht. So there are people actively trying and working together to try to implement these. This book is called The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene.
So if I saw this book just the way it is with the cover,
Mhm.
glaze right over. Not even give it a second look. That is the most like boring cover to me.
Not a powerful cover.
Not for what I want to read, but after hearing what you told me about it, I want to know more.
Right. And I do, this author, I believe, has other books that are
Okay.
also quite debated from what I could tell. Like, again, I didn't super research it. One of the comments said something about it was banned in prisons because it was teaching prisoners how to seduce the female guards.
Oh my goodness.
I think I vaguely researched that part a little bit because I was trying to find out if the reason why I had initially even found out about this book was because I knew it was banned in prisons. So I was just reading a little bit, and I think the other one is also, one of his other books is also quite inflammatory.
That's so cool.
But you can see or maybe understand just from the reviews why a prison might not want that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was for me the most exciting one. But we're gonna move on.
All right, what's next?
Oh, this one's good though. Published in 1926. This book offers financial advice and techniques supported by parables. Though it is set in Babylon over 4,000 years ago, its advice can still be seen as relevant today, and it remains a popular pick. It has a Goodreads rating of 4.32 stars, and the author was an entrepreneur who founded 2 companies. Okay, just finished this book after seeing it suggested so many times. I absolutely loved how it's a story that explains everything about saving, investing, credit, etc., and is doesn't just have boring statements. It's a wonderful book. I feel bad recommending it because it is strange, but it is wonderful. And I can say this book is strange.
You've read it?
I have not read all of it, but I have read some of it. But I think that anything, like if you're going to pick up, I should not compare this book to, but I was going to say Macbeth. Like if you're picking up a book that's not written in today's dialect, it is strange. Or maybe not to you if you study classical literature. Yeah, so no, because it was written in 1926. Anyway, it's a very unique book, but honestly, one of the best books on the mentality of basic personal finances. It really has 10 very basic rules, but these rules really cover all aspects of personal finance. I really don't understand how people get value out of these self-help books. This one's written by Dumpsterface. It seems to me that if you are getting any value out of the tips above, you must lack fundamental understanding of very basic topics. For example, here's another tip. Don't settle for your current salary. Try to get a raise if possible. Whoa, mind-blowing.
It's not always that easy.
Okay, I think that's all that I had on this book.
Okay.
Mind-blowing. Somebody did say, though, like, I guess I didn't save it, but somebody had said, I feel like this is an introduction that most people who are financially literate understand these things already, that it should be given to like a high school level kind of thing.
Okay. It fascinates me if that it's written in the 20s.
Right.
But the last thing I want to read is a book on financial advice.
Even if it's written in parables, like little stories that support it.
I mean, that's a fascinating take.
Especially on finance.
Really hate dealing with finances. I so badly
Yeah,
don't
and
want
it
to
is
read it.
dry.
Yeah. I'm going to pass this one up. Even though, maybe I should read it. It'll sit on my shelf for eternity.
So I have not inspired you to read this one. I do like this book.
Really?
I do. I really like this book. And I have recommended it. The Richest Man in Babylon, written by George S. Clason.
So by the cover, it makes me want to read it more.
Right.
I feel like if I did read this, I would read it like three stories and then move on with my life.
For me, that's what I did. For me, it's very heavy reading. But the nice thing about this book is it's very small, and I think there's 120 pages.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and that's, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have read it if it had been really big and thick. It's just small, easy reading. Not.
Okay.
I want to say light reading. It's not light reading either.
I would also possibly like to challenge myself and say, you'll never read it. It'll sit in the back of your shelf because it's so small. It'll just get lost. So
probably. Yeah. No. For me, I read it maybe a decade ago. Maybe I didn't have those basic financial principles that people are talking about, but I read it in my adulthood and I found it very helpful. Very insightful, rather. Okay. Because part of it's like, oh, you should be, like, your money should make money for you kind of thing. And I mean, yeah, common sense, but, like, encourages you to think about it a little bit more. Maybe not common sense.
Back to it. All right, thank you. Sorry about that.
All right, this one I don't have as many reviews on, but I really wanted to include this one. Inspired by one of the world's slowest creatures, I think it's the slowest mammal, this pocket-sized book, published in 2018, encourages readers to slow down and enjoy the small things. It's the only book I've ever read that says it's all right if you don't finish it. Goodreads rating is 3.9 stars, and the author has a Master of Arts in Creative Writing.
Cool.
Okay, so I could not find too much on Reddit about this one. So some of these are going to be Goodreads ratings. But this one says, I found that reading these philosophies helps me calm down when my anxiety starts kicking in. Adorable little read, tries to teach you to slow down and enjoy life a little bit more. Random tidbits about the slowest mammal. And it's a cute, tiny coffee table book. It's insane that I could feel related to every single page in this book. Those reminders to slow down and enjoy life. It's called the Slow Method in this book, and it's everything I didn't know I needed. I was about to say all of these are quite positive because it's like a soft, uplifting book, so how are you going to critique it? However, 1 star, I fail to understand why this was even published. The animal angle is cute, but there's nothing new inside.
Harsh.
Again, another 1 star. Legitimately one of the worst, most contradictory self-help books I have ever read in my life. People get so riled up about self-help, I think it's hilarious. That's all I've got. And I did, like, some of the other books, too. I had meant to save. We would be talking forever, but a lot of people are like, these have been mentioned before. These have been mentioned in other books. These are, like, just reiterations. And that is very true, I think, of most advice.
Yeah. For most things, really, everything's just reworked in a slightly different view, but it all comes from the same stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe that means that it's good advice. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So I am curious, based off those reviews and information alone, would you read the book?
I do want to read this one. I personally need to slow down and enjoy the little things. So taking advice from an animal seems like the perfect way to do it.
Right. And I don't know, for me, this is another one that I've read part of it. I was inspired to read it. It just because it's like a light little positive read. So, and most self-help books they're not like do less.
Yeah. And I like the do less part because I don't have much time to be doing more. That's my problem. So
yeah, I did read a review somewhere where somebody had said, like, oh yeah, this is probably perfect for lazy people, and they weren't actually being rude, but people who are already living slowly probably enjoy this. But they also said it's probably good for people who don't know how to slow down. So maybe you fall under that category.
I don't know how to slow down, so it would be good to learn how to slow down.
Well, if you read it, let us know if it helps. So I just sent it to you. It is...
What?
I know! This one just on cover alone. And it's like a teeny tiny, when you see it, it's just a tiny little book, and it's filled with pictures and little... You can tell I'm a fan of this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be unbiased. But it's the Little Book of Sloth Philosophy, How to Live Your Best Sloth Life, written by Jennifer McCartney. Not to be confused with Jennifer McCarthy. When I was Googling the author's credentials, I was like, oh, and I actually do know who that is. But I didn't, I was like, oh, that's some interesting credentials for a philosopher.
No, this one is at the top of my list to read
Yay!
because I need to slow down. So thank you for inspiring me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I need to slow down, but I do enjoy the book. She has other philosophy books too, and I didn't really talk about other authors' books. I'm just trying to find one because I felt like one of them. No, a lot of them do seem to like take the slow approach. I'm just looking at the titles, but she has some interesting titles anyhow.
Okay, I'll have to look her up.
All right, I have our last one here. And I feel like maybe we're not ending on the bang that I would like to, but this one is a very popular pick. It was published in 2018. And again, library holds for this one. Very long. This New York Times bestseller is a guide on how to change negative habits and build new ones. It discusses how habits change our lives and provides a comprehensive guide on altering them. It has a Goodreads rating of 4.32, and the author has a background in college athletics and a degree in biomechanics. Yeah. And the reason I actually started off with this one, and that's why I started researching credentials, was because somebody said about this author, they're like, he's not a psychologist, he is just somebody who got hit with a bat. What does that even mean? Like, don't take his advice. He got a sports injury. I don't know. I didn't read further into that. But
Wow, harsh.
right? Anyhow.
Shook a bolt loose.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I like it, but the author is not a scientist, just a guy who got hit in the head with a baseball bat. Like, I don't like to come for the authors, but I thought that one was kind of funny. I'm sorry. If it was a traumatic incident, I didn't read further.
Yeah, does that actually happen? If so, I'm so sorry.
I feel like it did just based on his, like, he was an athlete, so, and he did baseball.
Yeah, fitting.
Pretty much every self-help book is overrated in my opinion. Most people who are obsessing about this self-help, grinding to get rich, clean your room type of stuff, get inspired by black and white photos of famous actors with quotes over them. It's hard. It's not hard to impress one of these people. I take offense. I'm probably one of those people, so I'm offended. I think if something inspires you, that's fine. The job is done. Was
Exactly,
that not the
take it and
goal,
run.
to be inspired?
Exactly.
So, but okay. If your life is exactly the way that you want, and you don't ever catch yourself doing things that you don't want to do, and everything you do is unconscious, automatic, and leading to your ideal life, then you win. If that isn't you, and I doubt a single person who has read this book is that way, I believe you're missing something that this book can help you with. This book was very valuable to me. This book was very valuable to me because it taught me to think in systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Yeah, that comment alone intrigued me because I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I read the book page by page. I read it, as is the case with pretty much every self-help book out there. The book felt like it could have been 75% shorter. They're okay with that, but they weren't okay with the fact that the entire book could have been summarized in 3 bullet points.
Okay.
Which, yeah, and we did post this to our page, and we had some of our listeners mentioned. One of them did say kind of the same thing, where it's kind of a lot of fluff, and somebody else said they really enjoyed it and it helped them. Okay. Just finished reading. What the F? This book seriously changed my life. I didn't expect it to go that direction. Because of the 2-minute rule and what he says about identity, I am able to make drastic changes in my life within 2 months. Well, effing done to the author. Hats off to you. Yeah. Good review. I am probably the only one that felt like this book was overrated and could have easily gotten every point across just as clearly in under 20 pages. Valuable info, though, good stuff. Again, you're not the only one. There were a lot of comments saying that. Nice motivator for me. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Nice motivator for me. Nothing particularly revolutionary, but a good reminder. And they just liked that it had examples, real and imaginary, to help illustrate the habits, which is probably most of the fluff. It changed my life. I tried everything over 10 years to stop binge. Never mind. They didn't try it for 10 years. They had an issue for 10 years and it helped them.
Okay.
I read this book and everything just clicked. Almost immediately, I got control of my life back. Months later, not a single day of having this issue. Yeah. It helped me succeed when nothing else worked. Every 10 years, there's a book that will change your life. I always find them glittery and sensational. An entertaining read, but a better book is, this person recommends Buddha's Brain by Rick Hanson. And I did, this one had a lot of comments saying it's like, I don't know if it was this book specifically, but it's saying that it was an iteration of another more popular, in their opinion, book.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is all I have on this book. So I'm curious, based off that alone, would you read this book?
I'm definitely intrigued. I can't say I want to read it more than the Sloth book,
Good.
but I feel
Well, not good. I'm biased towards the sloth book. Sorry.
but out of all of the other ones that you've listed, let's go based off that. It would be second or third choice.
Okay. Actually, I do want to know your hierarchy.
So out of the 6 that you read, Sloth first,
Okay.
second or third will be whatever this one is. And I'm very curious about the Body Keep score. I keep
Right.
thinking about it. The other ones? Yeah, no. But I'm intrigued. I think I would give this book a try. Why not? I sometimes really like fluff.
I feel like I don't know. I've read a lot of self-help books and a lot of them do have the fluff, but I find sometimes you need a point reiterated multiple times because it's not, if you knew these things already, you'd be doing them. Or if you were inspired to implement them, you would already be doing so. So hearing them again and again, repetition helps you.
Yeah, because I feel like we are all aware of things we probably should be doing
Yeah.
and don't do it. So these
No.
reminders.
I feel like sometimes it's also like how a good math teacher knows how to explain math in multiple ways. It's explaining. I don't know about. I can't say. I haven't read this book, but it's explaining. Sometimes self-help books are explaining things in multiple ways.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I should be doing this, but I haven't found a way to figure out how to do it that works for me yet. So maybe this book has an example that works for me.
Yeah. And okay, so I'm gonna send you the cover of this one.
Okay.
Although you might already know. All right. So this one is called Atomic Habits, and it's written by James Clear. Tiny changes, remarkable results.
So it's a good thing I said I'm interested in reading it.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I think this is exactly why this episode needs to exist, because, like I said, we're going to do the research to find the books. However, sometimes I choose a book on a whim. This one I selected on a whim. You had sent me a list of Toronto Library's most checked out books. This was one of them, and I said, let's just do it.
Why not? And I
After generating this list, I'm like, I mean, you guys need to come join us for book club, read this book. But personally, I would have selected a different book had I done the research first.
Me too. But it's too late now because I have it.
Yeah.
And I can't return it.
So we'll be doing.
going.
I think there is. I'm not saying that there's not value in this book. I do believe that there's value in it, and I think there will be value to me. That's part of why I selected it. I do think my habits could use reworking. It's just not one that I wanted to read at the moment or at the top of my list.
It looks very wordy.
Well, and that's another reason. With knowing that you do not like self-help books, it would have been great to have selected one that would maybe turn you over to enjoying those books, and knowing already that this book is super wordy, lots of fluff. I think that's part of the reason why you don't like these books. So I've selected the wrong option.
Well, I think it was this article that said it was the most checked out that persuaded this choice.
I mean, obviously a lot of people are inspired to read it.
Well, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Let's read it chapter by chapter and see what we think. That's less intimidating.
Yeah, and this book is one of the ones that comes with journals and stuff. I don't know. I don't have a physical copy right now, but I do know that I checked out, or I put on loan at my library, a journal that goes along with this book. But I think the book itself has stuff to do in it too.
Yeah, there's like little diagrammy things in it.
And I do, personally, I do feel quite strongly that a lot of people who don't like self-help books is because they're trying to sit down and read it like a novel.
Yeah. And I think struggle when it's self-help books that say, oh, you should buy this or buy that. And I'm like, but how can I fix myself without buying things?
Oh,
that's
we should have
also my
done.
problem.
Actually, what we should have done is there's a book. I think there's probably a few, but there's a recent one that did well about not buying things for a year.
Yes. Is it the one we started reading last year?
Did we start one last year?
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
I don't remember.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the reason why this book completely is not in my mind is because I had just checked it out when I was in the hospital in labor. That's why I forgot about this book. I'm sorry. That was a goal. I know that. Maybe I did read a little bit of it in labor. I did check it out.
Yeah, I didn't finish it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That just it was dry. I
Was
remember we did have a conversation on it, so you read some of it.
Okay. I think I actually did read it in the hospital, but
yeah. I remember that now you were talking about that. But it just had a lot of rules, and sometimes that doesn't exactly work for everybody's lives.
Yeah.
And it was more of, I love when people say stories and talk about their experiences, because you can pick things apart, but it was just a lot about too much of that kind of thing, and I just got bored. And
Yeah, I'm really remembering this book now. I do not want to read it.
yeah. And like there's some
Not for
things
me.
that are like, yeah, that makes sense, but also it doesn't always work like that.
No, and yeah. The reason why I like The Richest Man in Babylon is even though it's very old advice, it is rules that you can apply to most things. But yeah, with some of these self-help books, like that does not work for me.
Yeah.
That does not work
And it's
in
like,
modern day society or my life or whatever.
yeah, exactly. And it's not trying to be stubborn or resistant. It just is facts that it doesn't work the same for everybody.
No, and you know, again, that one I think sold pretty well, so it maybe worked for some people, just not I.
Exactly same. And it's a book that I'm passing along to actually my sister. So
Oh, really?
someone else can read it now. Yeah.
Are they excited for it?
Oh yeah. I said good luck.
I do want to try that sometime, like even like a month of like not buying new things. I've seen a lot of people take on that challenge on YouTube, or there's another book, like I said. If it's something you guys would like us to read or a challenge that you would like us to do, please encourage me to, because I could use less spending.
Can't we all?
Okay, I think that is all that we have that's all that I have for these books and the reviews. We will do another genre next time, or if you just want us to do random books or a certain genre or a certain book, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be reading Atomic Habits and other books, as we do, and breaking them down on our podcast. I don't know if we'll make Atomic Habits almost needs to be its own series.
Yeah. Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, in the meantime, to follow along, like, share, subscribe.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you. Thanks for flipping through pages across the prairies with us. Until next time, keep your tea warm, your bookmark handy, and if you enjoyed today's chat, like, share, and subscribe to join us again.